Hi, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via and the rest of the tribe. Today is July 3rd. Heavens to Betsy, I say.
Well, that's an old expression.
It's a really old expression. It was for you, Diane.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started, just in the ordinary fashion, lying on your back. Just watching your breath. Noticing where you are, how you got here, why you got here. And just, you can let out a big sigh if you want. I'm going to mute everybody that isn't muted. We're here. We got here. Just spending the next hour paying attention to our breath and our movements. Find a quiet place in your mind and your body. I love my body loves me. Today, I will remain curious, attentive, and loving to my body and my breath. Take 2 more breaths. And bring your hands behind your head with your fingers interlaced or your hands stacked, just to keep everything still. If this is uncomfortable for you, you could put some blankets, prop up your elbows, or you could just bring your hands by your hips or on your belly. We're going to do vagus nerve reset. vagus nerve reset, just without moving anything but your eyeballs. Shift your eyeballs to the right and wait. Wait for a sigh, swallow, yawn, or go. And then come back to center and look left. And wait for a sigh, swallow, yawn, or go. Return to center and do two more of these, two more sets, right and left without my cueing. So I'll just give you some time to do this. Right, left, right, left. And whenever you're finished there, start your extended exhale breath. I'm not going to count the breaths, but the extended exhale, you count your inhale. And then on the exhale, you make your exhale longer than your inhale. With the goal, eventually, maybe not today, eventually doubling. So the exhale is twice as long as your inhale. I'll do a couple more extended exhale breaths. And then we're going to go into hypopressives. I want to clarify, Diana, if you can unmute, clarify, are you confused when I count 15 counts and then talk in the middle? Or are you confused about a breathing count that I do? Diana, I need your input. She's.
I think it's talking in the middle, Leah.
What?
I think it's the talking in the middle.
But if I'm talking in the middle of counting to 15, all you need to do is come out of it earlier if that's difficult for you. Unmute, Diana, so you can clarify for me your concern.
Sorry, I thought you'd unmuted me.
No, I don't know. I
yeah,
can't.
it's when you're talking in the middle of counting to 15.
Yes,
I find it distracting.
you find it distracting, but okay. So you find it distracting, but theoretically you could just ignore it and come out early if you had to, right?
Well, I do.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to try not to talk when I count to 15. All right. So here we are, hypopressives. We're going to do the classic hypopressive because Kathy's already set up for it. And I'm spontaneous on this. Heels on the knees bent, heels on the floor, toes toward the ceiling. So that's dorsiflexing the ankle and the feet. Arms up above your chest like you're hugging a tree, but then flip the hands. Flip the hands and press the palms into the ceiling and the shoulder blades into the floor. So you've activated your arms. We're going to do 3 breaths, and then I'm going to count to 15 without saying anything along the way, if I can manage that. Let's do that. So 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Now I'm going to count to 15 while you hold your breath out. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale and exhale, arms down, straighten your legs. We're going to go into the crossed ankle sequence here, just crossing your right ankle over your left, bringing your arms up again, and right ankle is on top and left hand on top, and then bring your arms overhead. So this is the position before you take your 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. You should also feel like you're spreading the rib cage. That's where the hold focuses, at the rib cage. Spread the rib cage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale and exhale. Bring your arms down, switch the cross of your ankles. Bring your arms back up as if you're hugging a tree, but then, let's see, then putting your hands towards the ceiling and putting your left hand on top and bringing it over by your ears. No, right hand, sorry. Opposite your ankle. From there, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's it. Inhale and exhale all the way down. Now we're going to do, before we sit up, we're going to do head ramping. You can put your head on some therapy balls. You can put your head on a stack of washcloths, on a blanket, on a brick. You could put your head on a sponge ball. Head ramping. You can bring your hands behind your head if you'd like, if they fit in there. Otherwise, or once you do that, go ahead and press the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, into the floor. Press, hold, and release. And press. You should be breathing while you're doing this, your own breathing pattern. Press, hold. The chin drops, but it drops because of the pressure you've put on the occipital ridge. And release. Do this 4 more times without my cueing. When you're finished, I'd like, before we come up to a floor seated position, I would like you to find a chair or a couch to put your knees. We're going to do 5 minutes of static relaxation, putting your bent knees up on a couch or a chair or a block, something stable. This is for everyone benefits, but this is for your teacher who's had a very stressful morning. I'm going to practice what I preach. So look at Kathy. She found something to put her legs up on. You might want to put a blanket or something underneath your shins or your calves, Kathy, so that you have a real 90-degree angle. So Once Kathy gets set up, I'll start timing. Everybody else, if everybody's already set up, they get a bonus. Okay, let's see if that works better. That looks better to me. Okay, 5 minutes. Stay here. Your hands can be like Kathy's. I like this position, cactus position, because it's a chest opener and a shoulder opener. But it might not be available to you, in which case you could put your arms by your side, or you could prop the position, that cactus position, cowboy position, up with blankets. You may want to put something under your head. A couple washcloths, a blanket. Okay. 5 minutes are up. Roll yourself up slowly into a floor-seated position. Before we do the side lying series, we're going to do side bend and spine twist. So find probably the best floor-seated position is cross-legged for these two movements. But maybe another position would be more comfortable for you. Did you guys get the floor-seated articles I sent you?
I do.
You did? You have any comments? Let me know. I'd like to know whether you think floor seating in this class has been helpful to you in your everyday overall health or mobility. But we can talk about that after class too. Go ahead and take your right hand and just put it on the floor beside you and then put it out. The top arm is going to come over. I'm going to time for 40 seconds. This is a side bending pose, which is actually bone building for the thoracic spine. That's why we hold it for 40 seconds to take advantage of the bone building benefits. Go ahead and take your elbow forward, the top elbow a little bit forward. Find another sort of stretch and stay there for the last half of the pose. Elbow up, torso up, other side. Slide your left arm along the floor, right arm comes up and over, bent elbow, 40 seconds. I know most of you have heard this before, but I'm saying this actually specifically for Irene, I guess. I couldn't do this at all after I broke my arm and when I was in rehab. Go ahead and take your elbow forward. Take your elbow forward, find another stretch. Still side bending, but you're going to find another stretch in your armpit. Elbow up, torso up. Switch the cross of your legs. And now we're going to do a spine twist. Be careful of your spine twists. Make them gentle if you need to. Go ahead and put your left hand on your right knee and your right arm behind you. Spider fingers. Find a spinal rotation. And from here, I'm going to put the timer on. And if you'd like, you can add sliding the rib cage slide, sliding the rib cage from side to side. Optional, but a really nice way to release the upper back. Be sure to maintain the spinal rotation while you're there and try not to involve your shoulders or your trapezius in the side to side movement of the rib cage. Slowly unwind, go to the other side. And right hand on the left knee, left hand behind you, spider fingers. Find your spine twist, sit tall. And then if you want to, you can add the side to side rib cage slide. Come all the way back. Don't go anywhere yet. Just put your hands in front of you on the floor and crawl forward, but keep your back flat. This is a crawling hip hinge, flat back hip hinge. You can bend your elbows if it feels right. Keep your chest open and the entire spine straight, like a broomstick. When you get there, just stay and take some breaths. And then slowly crawl up and find your way onto the floor, side lying, maybe with a brick underneath your head. Side lying is a very easy practice. I try to do it every 4 to 5 weeks so that it becomes something you have memorized to do. You can do it, in bed before you wake up, just as you're getting up, or just in the middle of the night if you can't sleep. So find the position that Kathy has taken. I'm going to come down here and try to do this also with you. Lying on your side, stack your hips, stack your shoulders. We're going to do some shoulder movements first and then some leg movements. The first shoulder movement is a protraction and retraction of the scapula. Your top arm comes out in parallel to the floor. And now you're going to use your scapula to move the arm, is basically what happens. But you're going to squeeze the scapula towards the spine, which is called retraction. And then you're going to move the scapula away from the spine, called protraction. Initiate this action keep going, initiate the action at the scapula. The arm moves because the scapula moved. And just slowly, with awareness of breath and awareness of movement. Where is the movement coming from? And when you're finished, just rest your hand on your hip. So you may feel like this is sort of an easy practice, but you will start finding out that you're actually doing a lot of work. That's why we rest in between. The next movement is called sunrise, sunset, or, well, it has a longer and anatomical name, but just raise your arm up, starting from that original position, which is the same as the first movement. So parallel arm, and then arm up to the sky. And then sunset, the arm comes down. Sunrise, the arm goes up. This is not a scapular movement. This is a movement of the head of the arm bone in the glenohumeral joint. There may be a little bit of scapular movement, but that's not what I want you to pay attention to. Slower is better. It teaches your brain. It says to your brain, this is the way I want you to move. This is a functional movement that I want you to do. Whenever you're about to do a movement like this, do this. Let's do one more. And then rest your hand on your hip. The next one we're going to do is an internal and external rotation of the head of the arm bone and the arm. Bring your arm straight up to the ceiling. You can put, I like to put my fingers right in front of the arm bone to find that internal, external movement. The first movement you're going to do is move forward, move it toward you, towards the front of you, and then move it away from you towards the back of you. And the movement is happening at the head of the arm bone. Try not to make it a wrist or an elbow movement. If you want to, you can make a little fist, which helps you maintain a movement that's happening at the glenohumeral joint and the arm bone. Just back and forth you go. Internal rotation, as far as you can go. External rotation, as far as you can go. And then go ahead and drop your arm and just rest it on your hip. We finished three, the first three on this side. We'll go to the other side after a while. The next thing we're going to do is what I call technical snow angel. It's actually half of a technical snow angel. Your top arm, the first thing you do is externally rotate, just like we were doing before, as far as you can go. So your palm is facing the ceiling, and then your arm comes up, up, up by your ear as far as you can go. When you've reached your destination, change the direction of the palm so it's facing forward. It'll change the direction of your head of your arm bone a little bit too, and then come back down. Externally rotate, palm facing the ceiling, come on up. Palm faces forward, come on down. Three more. And when you're finished, whenever you're finished, you're going to start shoulder circles. Starting at your hip and just going backward first, all the way back, all the way up by your ear, and then forward. And keep going. We'll do this about 6 times. Try to keep your shoulders stacked. Finish up and switch directions. Whenever you're finished, just rest your arm for a minute on your hip, your torso. And then bend your elbow, tuck your elbow into your waist. The forearm is parallel to the floor. And then this is called flying pizza. It's really good for the rotator cuff muscles. Bring your arm up. And as you bring it up, palm starts to face your ear. And then bring it down and palm faces the floor. Bring it up. The wrist rotates, the forearm rotates, palm faces ear. See how far you can bring it back? That's when you'll feel the rotator cuff muscles working. This is a strengthener for rotator cuff muscles. And one more. Whenever you're finished, we're going to flip sides. We're not going to do the leg piece to this because we're running out of time. We still have to leave time for the other side. For this, the set we already did. Flip to your other side. Lying on the floor, stacking your hips, stacking your shoulders. And starting with scapula protraction, retraction. Go ahead and rest your arm on your thigh, your hip and your thigh. The next one is sunrise, sunset. You start with parallel arm along the floor and then bring it up to the ceiling. Try to stay stacked, shoulders and hips. This is another fundamental functional movement of the arm. We can lose it easily if we don't use it. And whenever you're finished, just put your hand on your hip and rest. And let's see what we do next. Next is internal and external rotation at the arm bone. So you might want to put your fingers of your bottom hand on the bone to find that. I'm going to make a soft fist to keep you from using your wrist and elbow. And then you're going to use the head of the arm bone where it meets the glenohumeral joint. And you're going to roll in, all the way in, internal rotation, and then all the way out, external rotation. And keep going, internal rotation and external rotation. So you should be doing 5 or 6 of these. And then when you're finished, you can just drop your arm and rest it on your hip. The next thing we're going to do is snow angels, technical snow angels. Externally rotate your arm bone. So the palm is facing the ceiling. Bring it up by your ear. When you reach your destination, change the external rotation a little bit so the palm is facing forward, and then come back. And then up you go. We're going to do about 5 or 6 of these. And whenever you're finished with the next one, start. Well, let's rest for a minute. Now we're going to do shoulder circles. Let's start with the backward direction first. And whenever you're finished with the next circle, reverse your direction. And when you finish this circle, stop and rest. The last thing we're going to do here in these sets, the side lying shoulder sequence, bend your elbow, tuck it into your waist. Your forearm goes forward, palm down, and then you bring your forearm back. Keep your elbow tucked and rotate your wrist so that by the time you get to your destination, your palm is facing your ear, and then come on back down. Palm faces the floor and palm faces the ear. You should feel the work in the back of your scapula. And then whenever you've done 5 or 6, go ahead and stop that. And we have 3 more minutes. Go ahead and lie on your belly. If you have lower back issues, you may want to do the modification of what we're going to do here, which is a back extension with the lifted chest and arms and head. So Kathy, can you demonstrate without the lift? The only thing you're going to lift for the modification is your arms. Arms come up and stay there. And then come down. Here, now we're going to go into the full back extension. Go ahead and bring your arms beside you, palms facing the ceiling, and take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to lift your chest, your arms, and your head. You may not get it up as high as Kathy. She gets the privilege of doing this every week to demonstrate, and so she gets better and better and better. Take an inhale and an exhale, come on down. And now, once again, but we're going to go into airplane here. Take an inhale. And come on up on your X. Take another inhale and then exhale, bring your arms out in airplane. And stay here. And take some breaths. Inhale, come on down. Arms come down. And inhale and then exhale, come on down. Bring your arms out in a T along the floor. Look to the right. Lift your right leg and bring it over your left leg. Keep your shoulders, your armpits, your arms on the floor. This releases the upper back. It's pretty easy to do. You get better and better at it. It does make it, you can actually feel, I get adjustments, chiropractic adjustments in my upper back on this one. You can do almost anything below the waist. Come on back. Look left. Left leg comes up and over. And just stay here. Just make sure that your arms, armpits, chest are on the floor, or as much as on the floor as they can be. Come on back. Find your way onto your back to get ready for Yoga Nidra, 61-point guided meditation. Make yourself comfortable. You may want to put a blanket or something under your head. You may want to put a blanket over you so you're warm, depending on where you live, probably. You may want to put your legs up on a chair. I'm going to guide you through 61 points. I don't want you to move the points. I want you to just move your attention to the points, starting with breath. Starting with breath and watching your belly rise and fall with your inhale and exhale. Now bring your awareness and your attention to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes our 61-point guided yoga nidra meditation. Go ahead and start to stretch and wiggle. You can bring your legs straight along the floor, your arms overhead. Just stretching your arms in one direction and your legs in the other. Wiggle and stretch right and left, both arms, both legs. Make a circle your wrists and your ankles in both directions, in either direction. And then wiggle your fingers and your toes. And hug your right knee into your chest and then your left. And hug both knees into your chest. Rock from side to side, releasing your lower back, opening your hips. Whenever you're ready, roll all the way over. Do a side lying position with your bottom arm as a pillow, and then use your top hand, the palm of your top hand, to push yourself up into a seated position. And I'm going to remove the spotlight from Kathy and put us on gallery view. If you guys want to see everybody's face during the closing, you'll want to put yourself on gallery view also. Okay, let's do it. Bring your hands to your heart. Press, press, press. See if you can feel some of the shoulder work you've done. By pressing your hands together, you should feel the scapula, the upper back. And then just soften your prayer pose. And lift the skull away from the shoulders so that you can roll the skull over the top of the cervical spine, C1, C2, rolling forward, nodding, bowing, recognizing, acknowledging, and honoring the light in each of us, and knowing that we're all one light. And we'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
I'm going to turn the